Hello again, episode 114 of Love at First Scent. This is the way to make the episode numbers go up, isn't it? Just do lots and lots in one go. Episode 114 of Love at First Scent with me, Persolaise, coming from YouTube. Thank you very much for tuning in live. If you have tuned in live, thank you very much for watching the recording. If you're watching the recording either way, please consider subscribing to my channel. Please consider supporting my work on Ko-fi. Please leave questions, comments. I usually get round to all of them in due course. I'm just going to go on the old tablet to make sure that things are coming through loud and clear. Keith, you get the first comment. I find this perfume to be very blah. Well, I've only smelt it once, so let's see. This is what we're doing today, or in this video I should say. For the benefit of those of you who are watching the recording, this is actually the fourth video in a series that I've done today. We started with a review of Christian Dior's new version of J'adore called J'adore Infinissime. Then we did the new Dior exclusive called Oud Rosewood. Then we did this new masculine from Louis Vuitton called Meteor. We're about to do Louis Vuitton's California Dream, part of their colognes collection, and depending on how much time we've got, we may do a fifth video as well. How do people feel about a fifth video? Maybe I'll just do a really short one on it, because there's just a perfume that I would really like to share with you. It's not new, so a lot of you may be aware of it, but I'm saying this for those of you who are watching the recording, in case you would like to, if you've got the time, in case you'd like to go back to the J'adore Infinissime video, to which I will link below, and kind of get the whole flow of the videos from one to the next as they were broadcast live. Flaconess says, I'm really excited about this one. Deep down in my girly heart, I love these colours. And Denby says, hello, hope everyone is well. Now, last year, Louis Vuitton, you will be aware, released a trio of colognes in brightly coloured bottles. I didn't get to smell them properly, but in fact, it was only recently that I gave them a proper sniff. But I thought that as colognes, actually, they worked fine. The cactus one I thought was particularly interesting. It wasn't called cactus. Somebody will tell me in a sec, I'm sure, but I could look it up. So this is in addition to that, and it came out in May, but this is the first I've been able to try it, and it's called California Dream. I have had an initial sniff of it already. Ashfaq is saying hello. And Cactus Garden, says Q George, thank you very much. I have had an initial sniff of it already, and I thought that, you know, for what it is, it was fine. Let's spray it though, and let's remind ourselves. I am a bit of a sucker for a well done cologne. Not that they're very easy to do well. Yes, and I'm immediately reminded of what I thought when I first smelt it, that this firmly, from first sniff, goes into the realm of modern colognes as per the style of Mugler's cologne made by Alberto Morillas. So, and then if you think about the Cologne du Parfumeur that Thierry Vasser did for Guerlain, and what I mean by that is a very heavy, and not unattractive, but heavy use of musks that always feel to me as though they've got a kind of steamed feel about them. So superheated water, something very hot about them, but also at the same time quite humid. Mugler's cologne was a real trendsetter in that regard, and there have been a few colognes like that. Like, I'm thinking as well that the État Libre d'Orange cologne, I think, is of that style. I hope I'm right in saying that, but I seem to remember that when I tried that, I know that Etienne de Swart, the founder of État Libre d'Orange, is a huge admirer of the Mugler cologne, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was actually one of them. I think it's that heavy musk note that somehow makes these sorts of colognes feel very modern. So, whereas if you think of some of the older Guerlain colognes that make a heavier use of rosemary, herbs, more obvious use of neroli and citrus notes, they're the kind of traditional colognes, whereas I suppose, like I said, the Mugler cologne was a kind of boundary line between those and these modern colognes, which I do have time for. And here, I guess the twist is is a sweeter citrus note. So, you know, something like sweet orange, mandarin, that kind of thing. And it's attractive. I think it works fine. I've never been to California. I've never been to the States. Never crossed the Atlantic. So I don't know how accurate an evocation of California this is. I always thought that, again, to mention Etal Libre d'Orange, you or someone like you, I thought was an interesting way of getting an idea of California across, because to me, that you or someone like you smells like how I would imagine California to smell like, or somehow capture the spirit of California. This is... There could be... There's a sort of woody bridge between the top and the musks. Maybe cedar. There's something very, very clean about it. And astringent, but in a nice way. So the only thing that's curious is that it feels too awake to be a dream. It would have to be a daydream. I can't imagine it, you know, being any other sort of dream, because this actually feels quite bracing. So, you know, I would have thought a more accurate name would have been something like California Sunrise, or if you get what I'm saying. I've got a tiny little press blurb, which I will share with you. Gavin says, I find the notes to this puzzling. The marketing suggests an eternity-like perfume. Oh, interesting. Q George says, like many Atelier colognes, feel very bulky. Yeah, yes, good point. So is this basically an accented synthetic musk, says Gavin? But that doesn't have to be a bad thing, right? Rich says, Dior's Cologne Royale is decent, but it uses a lot of Dunes ingredients. You're welcome to Cali, says Nubionet. Thank you very much, one day. Keith says, please feel free to do as many videos as you would like. You could keep going all day as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, but we have stuff to do, right? You're very, very sweet to say that. Nubionet says there should be a redwood note. Ah, okay, good point. Denby says cologne style fragrances aren't really my wheelhouse, but I've never heard that expression before. Aren't really my wheelhouse. That's a fantastic expression. But I do like Eau de Guerlain from Guerlain, or Cologne Salone by Parfum de, or Sologne by Parfum de Nicolai. Eau de Guerlain I love as well. Isn't that just the best sort of lemony verbena? To me, that just reminds me of Japan, because I wore it constantly when we went to Japan, which was actually kind of exactly now, 3 years ago, back in the days when you could jump on a plane and travel. So this is you know, this couldn't in any way offend anybody, I don't think. It's just it's too harmless for that. I'd mentioned a very, very brief press blurb. As it says here, Mandarin as passionate as a sunset. It is the lengthening of a perfect day, watching nightfall, drinking in colours, standing before the horizon. In this iridescent fragrance, master perfumer Jacques Cavallier Beltrude holds on to the moment, captures the resonance of a sunset. The ardent Mandarin is consumed by joyfulness, tempered by the diaphanous ambrette and its subtle warmth, and the evening gets underway as graceful vanilla-tinged benzoin envelops the skin in an affectionate balm as light as a summer night. And I think actually that's probably all you need to know about this one, really. It does what it says on the tin. I mean, it's probably extremely pricey, so you're probably having to shell out quite a bit for this rather simple cologne. I've used 100 mils of... Which one, Rich? Oh, Rich says, have you tried Lavande by L'Occitane? I've used 100 mils in a month. No, I haven't. And Flaconess says, sometimes I find musks have cloudy qualities, as in Mugler colognes come together. Yes, so, you know, I say steam, you say cloud, water vapor, similar sort of idea. Something that manages to make you feel both as though it's enveloping you, but also somehow creating a feeling of airiness. I mean, I know you couldn't literally breathe a cloud because you would just be breathing in water vapor, right? And actually, if you go to a very, very humid country, when you first arrive there, you get the impression that you can't breathe, right? That there isn't any air to take in if the humidity levels are very, very high. But somehow these musks manage to create the impression of closeness and airiness, transparency. It's an interesting thing, peculiar to perfumery, I think. Gavin says, if you like outrageous, would you like this? What Frederick Mal's outrageous? It's not fruity though in that way, because outrageous has that apple-y note. You might, but there isn't a sort of massive comparison for me as far as I'm concerned. I think this sits perfectly fine in the other colognes from Vuitton. Probably my favourite is still the cactus one, but these are nice, solid, good work. And how we doing for time? Let's do a fifth video. Apologies if you're watching the recording, but the fifth video. Let's come back in a few minutes and let us do Toy Boy from Moschino. Okay, see you in a bit. Bye.